This is Jarrod Horak, and in this video, I'm going to analyze two stakes races at Aqueduct on Sunday, November 23rd, the Forever Together Stakes and the Pebble Stakes. These two races were originally supposed to be run on November 16th at Aqueduct. They canceled their card that day, rescheduled these races for November 23rd. Hopefully they remain on the turf course. I did a video for these races last week, but they did redraw these races, so I'm going to do the video over again. And first off, we're going to start with the Forever Together Stakes. $150,000 purse for fillies and mares, mile and a 16th on the outer turf course. Scheduled post time is 1:40 p.m. Eastern Time, and the past performance data in this video provided by todaysracingdigest.com. I'm going to look at the fractional charting in a minute, but first we're going to meet the field. Number one, Racing Colors. This one is a 30-to-1 outsider, was sixth in the Ticonderoga Stakes last time out at Aqueduct. Number two, Nice as Pie, is 7-2 morning line. For this one, she's better on all-weather ground, or at least it seems that way. 12 starts with 5 wins, 2 seconds, and 3 third-place finishes on synthetic. On turf, she's 0 for 5 with a runner-up finish, and she also seems better around one turn. Number 3, Miss Bonnie T, a 50-to-1 outsider in here, was 8th and last when last seen in a starter allowance event, so she seems outclassed in here. Number 4, Spinning Colors, could be the one to catch. Mark Hennig is the trainer. John Velasquez is going to ride this one. And she's 0 for 4 at Aqueduct with 2 runner-up finishes, but she does like this distance. 9 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a third-place finish. And she's one that if she can get out there and control the pace, she could be tough to catch. Oversubscribed. Number 5 is your 4-to-5 morning line favorite for trainer Chad Brown, making her first start since November 2024. Flavian Pratt is the rider here, and he rode this one to victory in the Wild Applause Stakes in 2024. And then he rode her to a runner-up finish in the Grade 3 Pebble Stakes last year. That was her last start. Number 6, Mally Moo, another Chad Brown trainee. She's 5-to-1 morning line. Now she's 2 for 15 overall with 2 seconds and 5 show finishes. So she does like to come in, but she hasn't been winning much. And on turf, she's 1 for 14, 2 seconds and 5 thirds. Maybe best used underneath. Number 7, Flowers for Me. James Ryerson trains this one, and Javier Castellano is going to ride. She was second at Laurel Park in an optional claiming turf route last time out. And then we have 3 main track only entrants. Number 8, St. Benedict's Prep. And even if this race does come off the turf, that horse ran at Laurel Park on Saturday. And then we have number 9, Bernie Takes Charge, and then number 10, Tipple. So those horses can only run if this race is removed from the turf course and run on the main track. So now I'll give out my top 3 contenders in this race, but before I do, we are going to look at the Today's Racing Digest fractional charting. And this is the Today's Racing Digest handicappers taking the most representative past performance line from each entrant. So basically they're looking at the best performance for each horse and seeing which horses are the fastest in here and projecting that final time here. And the horse that they project to have the best final time is oversubscribed. And then Mally Moo with the second best, and then Flowers for Me, and then number 4 in fourth is Spinning Colors, has the 4th best final time projection here. And now we're going to give out the top contenders in here. And the horse that I picked to finish 3rd is Mally Moo, and this one just loves to finish in the money. As I said, she's not big on winning, but she does like hitting the board. She did win the Penn Oaks in 2023, excuse me. But since then, she has not won in 9 starts. But she's hit the board multiple times, including her last 5 starts. She's hit the board. So she likes finishing underneath. She's versatile. She's got some tactical speed. And since moving to the Chad Brown barn this year, she finished 3rd in back-to-back starts. And then last time out, she was 2nd at Keeneland. So I think that she's probably going to be somewhere in the mix, probably more likely to hit the board. My second choice in here, the 4, Spinning Colors. I think that this one has a decent shot to maybe get out there, get clear early. And if she does that, maybe she can go all the way. She did go all the way in the Mount Vernon Stakes under John Velasquez in June at Saratoga. And then she was 2nd in the De La Rose Stakes, a close 3rd in the Yaddo Stakes. And then in the Athenia, she was 4th. The Ticonderoga last time she weakened to finish 7th. So her recent form isn't her top form, but the key to her is the pace. And if she can get out there, she could be tough, but I think that they're going to all be having to hold off. Oversubscribed number 5, my top choice. So she's probably a lot of people's top choice. She's 4-to-5 morning line. Chad Brown runners typically do well off a layoff. He's a 25% layoff trainer. This horse has run 6 times overall with 2 wins in 3 seconds, finished in the top 2 in all 3 starts at Aqueduct, and she likes this distance as well. So you have a good jockey trainer team, a good layoff trainer, a horse that's fairly consistent, will be rallying from off the pace in here, is a stakes winner at Aqueduct, winning that Wild Applause Stakes under Flavien Prat, and then finishing second in the Pebble Stakes when she was last seen in November of 2024. So oversubscribed, is likely to return running, probably going to be a short price winner. Here's how I'll play this event. We'll play an exacta keying Mally Moo in second, and we'll use the 4 and the 5 spinning colors and oversubscribed over her. So that's the 4-5 over the 6, and then a trifecta key, keying the 5 oversubscribed over the 4 spinning colors and the 6 Mally Moo. And now we'll look at the second stakes race at Aqueduct on November 23rd, the 8th race, the Grade 3 $175,000 Pebbles Stakes for 3-year-old fillies, a mile and a 16th on the outer turf course. Now, I mentioned that this race was originally scheduled to be run last weekend, and it was supposed to be run at 1 mile on turf. Now it is out to a mile and a 16th on the outer turf course. We'll have to see if that will affect some of the runners in here. And the post time is 3:39 p.m. Eastern Time. First, we'll meet the field. Then I'll look at the fractional charting for today's Racing Digest, and then after that, I'll give out my top contenders. Number 1 is Fast Market, your 2-to-1 morning line favorite for trainer John Terranova. Flavien Prat's going to ride this one. Now, she's 1 for 10 overall with 3 runner-up finishes, but she's really improved recently. A maiden win at 1 mile at Aqueduct in September, a nice win there, followed by a neck defeat in the Grade 2 Sands Point at a mile and an 1/8 last time out. Correto is number 2 for trainer Graham Motion, and for this one at 12-to-1 morning line, maybe she can hit the board at a price in here. She's 1 for 6 with 2 show finishes, and those 2 show finishes were in stakes races. Last year, the Grade 2 Miss Grillo Stakes and the Sweetest Chance Stakes at Gulfstream Park earlier this year. Number 3, Starship Pegasus. This filly is 1 for 3, and that victory was last time out, a mile and a 16th at Aqueduct on turf on October 24th. She wired the field, New York bred maiden special weight event. She was the favorite, and the runner-up was the next out winner. Number 4, It Ain't 2 for trainer Riley Mott with John Velasquez aboard. And she's 4 for 19 overall. She was 3rd in the 1 mile Grade 3 Ontario Colleen at Woodbine in July, but her last 2 turf sprint races, graded stakes races, she was 7th and 6th. Number 5, Paradise City for trainer Sappy Joseph Jr. Manny Franco's going to ride. 2 for 11 with 3 runner-up finishes and a show finish, and she's 0 for 2 with the runner-up finish at Aqueduct. This is her first start at a mile and a 16th. She just missed in the Winter Memories, a Grade 3 event, 1 mile on turf at Aqueduct, tracking the pace. Last time she set the pace in the Sands Point, and she weakened to finish 5th. Number 6, Sweet Treasure. Now, this one wasn't in the running when they had this race scheduled for last week, but she's in the field this time for trainer Brad Cox, and Florent Giroux's going to ride. She's 3 for 4 overall, and she exits a tracking victory optional claiming company at Churchill Downs, 1 mile on their turf course on October 31st. Love You Anyway is number 7 in here at 12-to-1 morning line. Rusty Arnold trains this one, and Jose Lezcano is going to ride, and she hit the board in her last 2 entry-level allowance turf route events, and from post 10 last time, so she did race wide from post 10 in her last start. Number 8, Peak Hype for trainer Chad Brown, and she's 3-to-1 morning line. Ricardo Santana Jr. is going to ride. Entry-level allowance win, mile and a 16th on turf last time out. That was a good effort, and that day she rallied from post 10, and she did go from 7th place, and she rallied to win that race by a length and 3/4. And then we have 1 main track only entrant in here, number 9, With the Angels. This one is listed as 3 to 5 if it's a main track event. So we'll see if it does end up on the main track. Obviously, she's 5 for 5 on dirt. So if this did end up on the main track, she certainly could be a solid contender. And now we're going to look at the fractional charting for today's Racing Digest. And again, the fractional charting, the Digest handicappers trying to pick the most representative past performance line for each of the entrants, and they're projecting the final time that they're going to earn in today's race under today's racing conditions. And for this one, Fast Market is projected to have the best final time, and then Peak Hype with the second best, and then you have Correto, and then Paradise City, and then a Sweet Treasure. And looking at the last fraction as well, the best two closers in this race, Fast Market and Peak Hype, and they are the two favorites in here. They're some of the fastest horses, and then they also have the best finishing kick as well. So I will give out my top 3 contenders in this race, and then I'll also throw in some horses if you're playing the trifecta and superfecta that you can use. And my top choice in here, I am going to go with Peak Hype. I picked Peak Hype last time when this race was originally scheduled for November 16th, but I was a bit concerned that the 1 mile distance might be too short. Now I think this 1.1/16 distance actually helps her. It's a little bit of a longer event, and I think that definitely helps her because both of her wins on turf were at 1.1/16 when she was rallying from off the pace. So for her, that the longer race this time does benefit her, and I think that she should be finishing from off the pace. She's got a nice finishing kick, and let's see if she can just outkick some of these horses. My second choice is certainly going to be the one to beat in here, Fast Market. She's number 1, and she should save all the ground behind the speed under Flavien Prat. You just know that Prat's going to put her in a good spot, and there's a chance that maybe she'll have the better trip of the 2 favorites. We'll see how that does play out. But that inside draw should allow her to work out a good trip. She's been much improved in her last couple starts, and I think that she looks like a solid contender on paper. And then I'll go with the new face, the horse that wasn't originally in this race on November 16th. That's the 6, Sweet Treasure. I like her 3-for-4 record for trainer Brad Cox. I like the fact that she went wire to wire in her first 2 wins at 7.5 furlongs on turf, and then 1.1/16. And then she was wide on September 27th from post 8 in a 9-horse field. She tracked the pace, and she ended up finishing an even 5th in that 9-horse field as the beaten favorite. And then they took blinkers off, and that seemed to help her relax last time out because that was the first time she was able to sit behind horses and finish, and she did that in a 1-mile optional claiming event at Churchill Downs on October 31st. And I think that's probably what they're going to want to do here. She was able to track outside and win by 2 lengths last time. So they're probably going to be a bit patient, try to track the pace in this event. Now, if you're playing trifectas and superfectas, 2 horses that I'll mention that are a price that you could definitely use, beginning with number 2, Correto for trainer Graham Motion. And Motion's having a good meet at Aqueduct, 8 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. And for this one, as I said, she did place in 2 stakes races, the Miss Grillo last year, the Sweetest Chant earlier this year, and then she returned from a layoff entry-level allowance race last time out. She was the beaten favorite, finishing 6th in a 12-horse field, but she may have needed that race. That was on October 21st, and that was October 24th, and that was her first start since February 1st. So second start after a layoff, she could improve. She should work out a decent inner trip tracking the pace in here, and I think that she could end up spicing up the exotics. Another one that could end up hitting the board is the 7, Love You Anyway, for Rusty Arnold. This is a daughter of Tappet. They paid $450,000 for her, and in 6 starts on turf, she's finished in the top 3 in 4 of those 6 starts, including back-to-back underneath finishes, entry-level allowance turf routes at Kentucky Downs. She finished 2nd in September, and then October last time out. From post 10, she was tracking wide, and she ended up finishing 3rd, and that was at Keeneland at 1.1/16 on October 24th. So that wasn't a bad effort last time out. And she also comes out of the same race as Correto from that Keeneland event.